Journal Entry 1. Before I start the journal entry, I would like to do a general rundown of my life. Starting at the beginning, I was a child with a couple mental disabilities, a reading and writing one, and there was one other very early on, but that one went away in elementary school. For elementary school, I was in the ES1 program, which was a program designed for kids with disabilities, like me back then, to help them get better and to help them develop in any way they can. For a general rundown of the ES1 program, they did not follow the regular school curriculum because that was too difficult for the kids in the program, so they worked with basically at their level of what level they're at. Remember at the start they divide the work between let's just say there was one for the grade 1 to 3, and then another separate assignment for the grade 4 to 6. Though of course the work was easier than the actual grade itself if you're in the regular program for a school. In the classroom, there's normally 2 teacher assistants and 1 main teacher to help every student. The classroom normally contains fewer students than a normal classroom, around let's just say 10 to 15 students. So in a way, every student could get a lot of help if they wanted to, since the amount of students in the class was very small, not that many. I remember in ES1, everyone in the class was mostly friends with each other, building a strong community of friendships, though there was a couple outliers where let's just say there was a main group of students, and then there were students, then there was a smaller group to the side. Those can kind of be like rival or conflicts can happen between the 2 groups. ES1, you normally don't get any tests except for some spelling tests here and there, and that's about it. And homework was very light to basically nothing, which was nice until you realize as soon as you get integrated into junior high that depending on where you go, you may still be in the ES1 program. For me, I moved up to another program called the Lead program, which was a step above, I'll say. Started to feel more closer to the regular school program and routine. I was a grade, maybe 2 levels below, what just say, which is still quite a bit if you think about it. Like I remember in grade 10, I fully was integrated into like the main school courses or the main program. I remember at the face to jump between very easy junior high math to 10-free math. So basically going from what the student's level's at, which is like simple multiplication, division, subtraction, and addition, and decimals, and maybe a little bit of cross multiplication, to, well, this point out of school I kind of forget, but I remember there was trigonometry, there was what was it called, where you had to solve the area of, I guess in junior high I did do radius and diameter and all that, but I remember for high school, I had to do, where you had to, there was a lot of, you had to kind of, I guess, cross multiplication in a way. And finding X. Oh, that was a big one. Actually, if you think about it, if you were in the regular program, you'll probably be introduced to that in probably grade 7 or 8. Finding the X. Oh yeah, I remember also in grade 10 I did finding value and converting units from, let's just say, I guess, let's just say from kilogram to like gram or something, or measurements converting Fahrenheit into Celsius and all that. And I remember it was quite overwhelming grade 10 because of a jump like that. Go just 100 levels above what I was used to. Even though during like junior high, for science and social studies, it was kind of in at the beginning of junior high and even the near halfway point of grade 8, I was integrated into the main classroom with everyone else, with a teacher assistant by my side, of course. That never happened during high school, except for this one course during grade 10 math. Or I guess during grade 10 math for a fair bit. But other than that, nothing. Yeah. My strategy for overcoming grade 10 math was to, on purpose, or I guess not on purposely, but at least hand in my assignments, even though literally most of the questions were incorrect. I kind of knew that the teachers would kind of see that I was struggling and would help me up and do literally anything to make me pass. So that's what I did, and it worked marvelously. They set up tons of amenities for grade 10 math, not for grade 11 math. That never happened. Though it did do a bit better, I'll say. Though I did struggle quite a bit still. That kind of shows that you can't really jump 100 grades over what you know for math. You kind of have to work at where you're at, or else it gets overwhelming with the sheer volume of what you're learning, and will often be frustrating and confusing. So yeah, for high school, I normally choose like optional courses. I kind of wanted to avoid facing the fact of what I'll be doing afterwards. I just want to enjoy the now and have fun. But deep down, I did realize that I'll have to face a day where I would have to figure out what I want and to do and to face life directly. So for courses, for overview of courses, I normally choose like art, maybe normally some sort of trade foods. Though for foods, I normally get pushed aside and be the dishwasher guy, and not do much cooking. Remember grade 12 for foods, I mostly played chess more than foods, and two ladies literally did everything. Asked them if they needed any help. They said they were good and everything, so I was just pushed aside. So I guess I didn't really learn much from that. Drama, I did a couple of plays. I remember grade 12, I didn't really do much. I wanted to be some main character. I want to be Santa for like the Christmas main stage, but I was kind of pushed aside to basically nobody, small. I guess I was pushed aside for the boy in crutches that appeared for one scene. That was supposed to be a gag that did not work whatsoever. Then the other play I did in grade 12 was also a very small role that I felt cheated on, where I was basically a ghost actor that only appeared for a tiny bit, just to scare everyone and basically just walked around menacingly. Grade 11 was a bit better, where I played character. One of the characters was like a boy obsessed with pickles. So that was probably my best character I did, and my favorite. Where basically, this was like a camp. Was this Scream? Yeah, I think this is like the Scream kind of main stage, where basically I was obsessed with pickles. I hold pickles very closely, a nice pickle jar, and let no one touch those pickles. And yeah, that was quite fun. The other one was the narrator. That one was for a Christmas main stage again. And that was probably the hardest character I ever did, because it was just you explaining the plot with no character to rely on in front of a huge crowd of audience. I normally paced around. I was quite nervous. I rushed my lines most of the time. And the directors really pushed on that be more open and relax, but it's hard to relax when you're afraid of failure and don't want to mess stuff up and want to get your lines through. But I got better, and I got more relaxed and more confident in myself, and it started to open up by the end. But of course it wasn't perfect, my acting, but I call that a huge achievement for performing in front of many people on a stage. Basically being yourself, with no character persona or anything. Just saying your lines and looking at the audience straight in the eyes. Grade 10 for drama, well, let's see. That was during middle of pandemic, I'll say, during that time. So it was for the first main stage. I basically, well, let's see. I played as a character named Kale. This was like a school, like for setting, it was like a school. I was about to enter like summer break, kind of close. I was a bully basically named Kale that picked on other people basically. That was my whole character, and I had fun with it. It was all recorded, and I upstaged one of the characters I was speaking with an insult that I should probably not have done, but I was in the moment. The character consumed me. I had to play as the character. But yeah, it was all recorded, probably edited out, and never seen the light of day by all the editing that I think one student did. Since it was like a pandemic and we all had to wear masks and couldn't have an audience to watch the main stage. And the other main stage, I was a follow spot person. I found that job quite fun. Basically, get to be up at the catwalks in my own little, I don't know if you'd call it like a den. It felt like a den. My own private section up at the catwalks with a follow spot that I get to control. And it was quite fun, I'll say. And kind of somehow kind of relaxing, maybe because I was more of an introvert or something. But I liked it, the fall spots. I get to shine light upon characters, especially when they're walking around on stage and before the performance, when they're kind of figuring things out, moving set pieces on to the main stage. And yeah, I liked it. For smaller projects for drama, going from grade 10, see if I could remember. I don't know if I could even remember. What small projects? Oh, I remember. There was one where it was basically a camping trip where I was like a teenager drugged out with many other friends that basically led to a murder with a short commercial break in between with what was it, the commercial break? I forget. It's been a while. I probably won't ever remember that. But let's see, let's moving on. After that small project, the other small project for grade 10, let's see, I completely forget. I don't know if there was even one. There was a bunch of workshops, I believe, though maybe not because there was a lot of lessons that were online during grade 10 because of COVID. Okay, moving on to grade 11 for drama for small projects. If I could remember. Well, there was one of them was like a FNAF one, basically, where I was a security guard. Had to like remember all my, basically remember all the actions and lines within like a day, or maybe it was more like within like 24 hours. I guess that's a day. And it kind of acted out. There was a lazy lights person in the main studio that stared at his phone. The other character that worked on the script, and then there was me. That I was basically the main character that had to remember everything. That was fun, though kind of stressful. And it kind of resorted to my natural character, no personality attached to it, but it worked. And even though it's kind of messy, it worked. Oh yeah, the kid that was the light person that controlled all the lights for the studio, that spends most of his time on the phone. He's the same person that I played chess with during Foods 30. I played a lot of chess games with him. That was fun. And I barely learned anything because of two ladies in Foods that did literally everything and pushed me aside, basically. But I get to be good at chess, well, though my sister beats me every time at chess. But anyways, back to whatever was I talking about, I forget. Oh yeah, drama 11, grade 11 small projects. Let's see, there was a narrow one that I did for grade 11 for small projects, but I forget. Okay. And I probably won't remember it ever, so moving on. Grade 12 drama, small projects. The one memorable one was me directing my own little story, or my little, I guess, story. I called it Chickadee, basically about basically a king executing a loyal knight, that commander that ran away from battle, and from start to finish, the audience felt horrible for the knight that was going to be executed. And eventually, the execution happened, and there was no happy ending to it. To the man that ran away from battle was caught and suffered by the king, and and yeah. That was the project I directed. Also helped out with a friend of mine for his project for Mr. Bean. Mine was original. His was adaptation of the church episode of Mr. Bean, where basically I think I was Mr. No, I was the church man trying to endure the torture of Mr. Bean before leaving the church frustrated and screaming. That was fun. though none of those two projects saw any success for showing to other students other than my class. For other projects, I think that was it. Though there was like a couple improv games that I did that I kind of struggle with. I guess some of them vary in quality, but yeah. And yeah, that was the whole drama experience in a nutshell. Now moving on to art. Art for COVID, basically grade 10 art for, or should I say grade in junior high art? No, those memories are foggy. I don't know if I can explain it well. Grade 10 art, there was the pandemic, basically. Struggled with, well, for the collage, I wanted to add a bit of a story to it. Lore, I guess. That to other people looked quite confusing and even to myself quite confusing, and yeah. And I also had to draw a portrait of me with a mask on, with a fist near my face, and a couple other things I did. Grade 11, let's see. Grade 11 did a cardboard statue of a Undertale character called Undyne. That looked quite nice. What else? There was other things I did, and then grade 12. I would say for grade 12, I don't know if there was anything too notable. I'm trying to think. Was that grade? I think grade 11 I did like a Nike shoe clay sculpture. Grade 12, I did stuff. I don't know if there's anything too notable though. I'm not sure. Anyways, moving on to other subjects. For shop, for woodworking, basically, I guess if I want to start in junior high, I could explain that I did a push and pull stick, grade 8, and hesitated with the bandsaw, never finished the second project, which was basically a thing with a jar, and let's see. It was supposed to be like some sort of wooden animal with a jar in the center. I never really finished that since I was very hesitant of working with the bandsaw. I was worried that I would cut myself or something bad would happen. So I was kind of very afraid of using that. Though those fears eventually passed. The more I used it, the more comfortable I got. Grade 9. Let's see. I never really did any woodworking in grade 9 because of the pandemic. It was at the very start, and classes were canceled, so I missed a whole everything for woodworking grade 9. I did sewing, both grade 8 and grade 9. Woodworking grade 10. For grade 10, I used a lot more, I guess, tools and machines to cut wood and stuff. I made, what was it? I made an iPad stand. That was one of the things. There was one more. And a stool, that's right. I also made a stool. And for I guess I hesitated with doing another woodworking for some reason. I don't know why I did that. I don't know. Maybe I was just worried about there being an accident one day where I cut myself or do something, or well, it is one of the more dangerous subjects, or I guess it's more of a, what was it called? I forget. but you know, trade courses. And grade 11, I did like a picture frame with like, and I did like a printout of a picture mounted, and I used like, I forget what it's called, but I used like a substance to glue to transfer the ink to a piece of wood, and I did like a frame. And the other thing was what was it? Oh yeah, a charcuterie board. And I never finished a garden box or a grow box. So that's my woodworking experience. Mechanics, basically I learned how to put on and off a tire and to do basic stuff. I did a lot of theory for mechanics. And actually that was the main thing about the tire. Nothing really else about the car, just mainly the tire. And yeah. Gym. I did continue gym from grade 10 to 11 and 12. I quite enjoyed gym, and I found it fun playing sports with others. And I do quite miss that in those days. And yeah, remember for the fruity level, I did do off campus, so I get to do like bowling, and I guess bouldering, though I never really did much bouldering. I found bouldering quite difficult. Can barely even get myself off the ground. And I guess mini golf I did. That was another fun one. I did a lot of fun stuff. And here's the story for one of the days for gym. Since I lived in Calgary, we went to the Glenmore Reservoir and did like a Voyager canoeing. I found that fun, though I didn't wear any sunscreen in a May day, so my arms were sunburned afterwards. But that wasn't even the main thing. Afterwards, we did like for filler. Afterwards, we did like a canoeing game where basically there was many small canoes. We got into pairs of two and went on the Glenmore Reservoir again to do the canoeing, and we played a little game where basically it was kind of like tag, where you use the oar of your paddle of the boat and you have your own fruit. Each canoe had their own fruit. If you touch someone else's boat before they touch yours, that boat becomes your type of fruit, and once there's one type of fruit left, then the original person wins, or the original boat wins that had started with that fruit. That got everyone, spread that to everyone. And what happened was, well, my friend in the back kind of tilted the boat, got his oar stuck on the canoe to what, just say, I think it was to the left of us, and pull ourselves under. I wasn't quite prepared for something like this, even though teachers told me countless times, and I did have a gym strip, but I didn't think that count as change of clothes until later. But basically, in that moment, I was stuck underneath the canoe. It was a little disorienting, I would say, a bit traumatic. And it went into treading mode immediately after. Since I did do swimming lessons up until the swimmer 6, when I passed swimmer 6, first try, I went to basically treading mode. I didn't really panic too much, though I didn't realize that my glasses fell off my face and sunk to the bottom of the Glenmore Reservoir. So yeah, I had to basically I was soaking wet on the bus back. I guess, well, no, it wasn't soaking wet because someone from my class gave me a pair of clothes so I can wear. That was nice of them. But I carried back my soaked clothes. But anyways, I had to tell my mom, that my glasses were missing. Luckily, it was under insurance, so I got a new pair in a couple of months. And I have an old pair of glasses laying around. And yeah, it all worked out. Here's another story. Basically, there was one of the days where I was too trusting of, since it is high school, you shouldn't be always trusting that your stuff won't be stolen out in the open, especially in the change rooms, because spoiler alert, there are people that are not that nice and friendly that would steal stuff for their own gain for some reason. I don't know, that this world can be quite corrupt. But both my bus tickets and bus passes were stolen. So, and I found out by the end of the day after my after my mechanics course. And so I texted my dad and picked me up, and yeah. Then I did have a big stash of bus passes, but had to on my own buy bus passes for a couple times to keep me so I can still go to school and all that. And eventually my mom found out and all that a couple months later. And yeah, actually no, it was earlier than that. There was a second time I lost my bus pass, but that's because I left it in a hall, or I guess by like the drama room in the gathering area. And that time I also no, I think that was the time I bought a bunch of bus passes so I can keep going to school. Since my dad knew for the second time, so someone stole it, and that kid also stole from someone else, not me, but stole like $100 from another kid's backpack. But anyways, he gave me a couple bus tickets, and everything worked out in the end. But it wasn't cool of that kid to steal stuff, of course. And yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick drink of water, then I'll continue talking. Bear with me. Okay, let's change the subject to grade 10. When I first started, for lunchtime, since it was a new school, I didn't really have any friends. And lunchtime normally felt lonely and depressing. But afterwards, it was fine because there were subjects to keep me busy and all that. A lot of chores in grade 10, and I hated it. And the pandemic did not make it help better. But anyways, grade 11, and my counselor invited me midway in the I guess in the start of the second semester, told me that there was a classroom open. Since I went to a Catholic school, the chaplain's classroom was open for lunch mostly every day, except for some exceptions, like Wednesdays, for example. But anyways, I spend my lunchtime there and watch kids play games. I don't know, I didn't really felt too comfortable engaging in playing games. There was no, I participated with like Hangman, like being a main guesser of what the word could be, but never went up to the front. I did it. Well, maybe once or twice, but that's about it. Other rest of the times I just lay low. Then from there, that opened the opportunity for me to do. I heard that there was like an after-school course called Alpha. I did that, and I gained some friends from that. That lose connections with, not that strong anymore, unfortunately. And let's see, grade at the end of grade 11, I did make friends with basically all the friends I made in grade 11 were grade 12 students. I was in grade 11, so in grade 12, all those students went their separate ways and didn't see them. I saw this one a couple times on the bus, which shocked me. But other than that, not much. And yeah, I guess midway, also, let's see. During grade 11 gym, I made a friend with a kid from Syria and became close friends with him. Grade 11 came around. At the start, I did see around in the gathering area alone with no one because, yeah, I didn't formally sit with that friend I made. I guess I also made a friend in social studies, though I didn't really. I guess I was close to him for a fair bit, though I didn't get any contact information, so that connection's mostly gone. But have the Syrian kids. Uh, I guess I follow him on Instagram, so that counts as a connection. But after brief concerns with the chaplain, seeing me sitting in the hallway alone during lunchtime, she encouraged me to either make friends or spend time with her in the office, in her own office, which would have been fine, but yeah, I stepped up and I seeked who I knew I kind of made close ties with, and someone in the past. And I sit around with them for lunch, and I made friends. And yay, it wasn't lonely anymore, which was a huge relief, actually. Though after high school, everyone goes their separate ways, and I'm back to square one, literally, because I realize now that, well, I had to face reality now. Because it was fun, but then life catches up to you. You could be delusional and have fun, play some games, but when the time comes, life hits you and it hits you hard. And you're left with nothing suddenly, and not sure what to do. I struggled and somewhat became lazy at the start. My mom encouraged me first to get my learners. I stayed up and I did. And then she enrolled me in a driving school, and I did the theory and I did all the in-person driving lessons. Then I suggested to find a job. And, well, here's where we call it to modern days. So far, I did 36 resumes. I got interviewed for 3 of them. One of them was a Petland. Another was, what was it? A superstore. And another one was a Coop that was far. That was a 2-hour bus ride from where I was. And yeah, this is where I face the dark truth that I kind of need to know what I'm doing, and sometimes that could be hard. I do miss those old days quite a bit, but life is life, and I must adapt, and I must pull forward. A couple months ago, my grandma suggested I start a course in Khan Academy, and I did. Still working on world history, and that helped with one of my interviews quite a bit because they asked me what I was doing, and I used that. My mom gave me a book of Rainbow Parachute, and I did read a fair bit, though the book has to be returned soon. I had to still read quite a bit more. And yeah, other than that, kinda, I don't know, I'm at this stage where maybe might be a bit lost, though I try to pretend I have determination, and some days I have true determination, but it's hard. It's difficult. But one day I will pull through, and I will be successful, independent, and I'll be at a good point. This is just my lowest character point right now. The darkest times and moments, apart from grade 10. But this is probably one of the darkest times. But I must pull through, and I will. One day, though. I don't know when that'll be, but one day.